And welcome to another week here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And the X Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern, right here from our broadcast center and studios in Niagara, Ontario, Canada. Now, if you'd like to find out about the programming we have available for you, 7/24/365 on the X Zone Broadcast Network, that's our radio division, visit www.xzbn.net. And for the X Zone TV channel that is exclusive to Simul TV, visit www.simultv.com, and in the search engine, just type in X Zone. X Zone Nation, my guest this hour is JANA Hollingsworth, and she is the young lady that is the founder and the owner of Crystal Elixir. JANA, welcome to the X Zone.
Thank you. So nice to be here.
Nice having you with us. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you interested into the metaphysical world.
Well, you know, I kind of had an interesting background. I grew up with a mom who's psychic. Mm-hmm. So I literally came home from school every day, and my mom would be doing psychic readings at the kitchen table, and I just thought, you know, that's a normal part of life for me. And so because of that, I was always fascinated with anything metaphysical and spiritual, and I just always gravitated towards it. So I went to school for spiritual psychology and holistic health, and I got certified in numerous healing modalities, and everything about it just attracted me since the time I was a little kid.
Now tell us a little bit about the Crystal Elixir.
The Crystal Elixir is basically a metaphysical store. Mm-hmm. We are located in Brentwood Village in Los Angeles. And when I opened the store, I really wanted a place for people to come that was like a one-stop shop for all your spiritual needs.
I love it.
So besides selling beautiful crystals and candles and jewelry and all of that, we also have amazing readers and healers. And we have LA's first flower essence elixir bar. And we also, when I opened the store, it was important for me that everything that we offer in the store, that we also offer a concierge service so that we can do all our services in people's homes. So if they want to do birthday parties or baby showers or any of that, we can come to your home or an event space and bring all the healers and readers and crystals and everything to you.
So it sounds like a Costco of the spirit, of the world of spirituality. Yeah.
Yes, a very nice Costco.
Yeah. So what was your very first experience in the spirit world? I mean, besides that of your mom. I
would say the one that had the most impact on me, my dad died when I was in my early 20s.
I'm sorry.
Of lung cancer. He was like a 4-pack-a-day chain smoker. And about 3 days after he passed, literally in the middle of the night, I felt somebody sitting at the end of my bed, and they were shaking my ankle. And I looked up, and just as clear as day, my dad's sitting at the end of my bed, and he said, I just stopped by to let you know that I'm okay, and that everything's going to be fine, and that I love you. And I was so absolutely freaked out from that experience. I was still living at home at the time, and I remember running into my mom's room, screaming at the top of my lungs, and she thought the house was on fire because I was so hysterical. And she's like, what's wrong? And I was just like, oh, my God, Dad's sitting at the end of my bed. And, you know, and I was just so scared. And she calmed me down, and she just was, you know, she was saying, gosh, you know, why would you be afraid of Dad? How beautiful that he came to you to let you know that he was okay and that he loved you. Like, that was amazing that he would do that. And so that, I feel like he opened that portal for me to the spirit world.
I guess it would have been nicer if you would have gone to bed that night and there would have been a note on the pillow saying, hi, this is Dad. I'm going to be visiting you later on, so just be prepared.
That, yeah, it was a little upsetting.
You know, I've heard that from many people over the years, that it's not the visitation that is scary. It's the sudden appearance of someone who's died. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and it really, it's interesting because before that, I had experiences as a young child with automatic writing,
Right.
And things like that. So, like, where a spirit would come and literally, like, take over my pencil and draw things for me. And that was also weird, but not to the extent, that it was with my dad.
Yeah, I often wish that I had automatic writing when I was writing my exams in high school and in college. That would have come
Wouldn't
really.
that have been amazing?
Yeah, but unfortunately, I was stuck to do it myself.
I know Spirit likes us to work in that way on our own.
Isn't that the truth? Like, so many people talk about reincarnation and we have to keep on doing it until we get it right. Well, come on. How much right do we have to get before we kind of are given our wings, the harp, and said, all right, guys, relax
I know,
now.
and then you know what? When you learn that lesson, then there's another one to learn right behind it.
Exactly. I've always had the idea that all the spirits should pool all the information in a giant-sized database up wherever spirits are. And then if somebody has a question, instead of sending somebody back to where Earth, this dimension, that dimension, wherever they go, just check the database. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, there's got to be a YouTube here somewhere. All right, there it is.
I know, there has to be a YouTube of the spiritual world we could just reference it when we need it.
We should come up with that. Oh, here's a great name, BooTube.
You know what? I really like that.
There you go. We'll
I
work
think that's an idea. Let's do that.
All right, you've got a deal. How has your intuition helped you in your life?
Oh, gosh, it's helped in so many ways. I would say the one that was probably the biggest in the last couple of years was opening my store. So my background was as an executive assistant to CEOs and presidents of companies.
Right.
And I did that the majority of my career, and I always did the spiritual thing part-time,
So,
my readings and so forth.
So it's clear. So it's easy to say that you did all the hard work for the CEO and they got the credit.
It was a little bit, the woman behind the man kind of thing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
or the nurse behind the doctor.
Yeah, but thankfully I've always had really great people to work for, so that was a blessing.
Yeah.
But literally the last person I worked for, I was with him, worked with him for 13 years.
Yes.
And I was doing he had met my mom, knew she was a psychic, knew I was doing my readings and was into all that. And one day I was teaching a psychic development workshop at a metaphysical store on the weekend. And the next morning, I went out on my patio, and I got a message, and it just said, ask your boss if he'll help you open a metaphysical store. And then the message left. It just came in really clear, and then it left. And I was just like, that's weird. I really never thought of that, of opening a store. So I thought about it for a few days, and it kept getting stronger and stronger. And, when you get that kind of whole body yes inside of you saying this feels right.
Exactly.
And so I approached him with it, and he was 100% behind it. And he thought it was a really good idea, and he said, let's do this, and I'll be your investor. And so I have had the store a little over a year now, and it just brought all my loves together. The holistic health portion of it, where we do the flower essences and the healings and essential oils and all that. And then, my love of crystals and candles and all of that. And then being able to do my readings and then have other healers in the store and other readers in the store. And it's been great to bring all my passions into one place.
Sounds great. We're going to talk more on the other side of this commercial break. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Jana. And Exo Nation, our guest this hour is Jana Hollingsworth. And her website, crystalelixirstudio.com. And Jana and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios. Whoa, that was a little heavy. Craig, thank you for waking me up, even though I wasn't asleep this time. It's all right. We've lost more guests this way, like kind of,
Oh my God, that's funny.
No, I'm only kidding.
God, you've been doing this show forever.
Well, thank you, dear. I wasn't feeling that old until you said that, but we'll
No,
get
but
back.
in a good way. I
Oh.
think that's fantastic.
30th year this year. 30 years.
Yeah, congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much, because it's because of guests like you and the great XO Nation that this show keeps on growing and growing and growing.
I love it.
All right.
Love it.
Stand by. We'll be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the XO from our broadcast center and studios in Niagara, Ontario, Canada. I'm Rob McConnell. Don't go away. And welcome back, one and all. JANA Hollingsworth is my very special guest, all the way from the beautiful City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. She is the founder and the owner of Crystal Elixir Studio, and their website is crystalelixirstudio.com. Tell us a little bit about your flower essence bar.
The flower essence bar. So when I went to school for holistic health, we learned all sorts of different modalities there, but the thing I really loved were flower essences, because they actually work on the emotions. And for people who don't know what flower essences are, sort of like with crystals, each crystal has a different healing modality, and the same with flowers. Each flower has a different healing modality on the emotions. And so what they do is they take the tincture of the flower and they just take the essence of it and bottle it, and you can combine them with other essences. So when people come in, I have a bar set up inside of the store, so people come up, like on the old TV show Cheers, when they come up to the bar, and they sit at the bar and they tell me their problems, and as they're talking to me, I can custom blend different flowers together and make them an elixir to take home with them. And you take it comes in a little dropper bottle, so you put the drops under your tongue, or you can put them in your water bottle and just sip throughout the day. And, depending on what's going on with you, or, how severe your problem is, or how traumatic things may be, you could take them several times a day, or maybe just once or twice a day. So I loved working with the flowers myself, and people really enjoy it, and it's something different, and it really helps. We even have them for pets, so we can custom blend flowers for the animals who have anxiety, or they may have been a rescue pet and suffer all different kinds of little traumas and things like that. And so people come in and we just give them the essences. They put them in the dog's water bottle, and it kind of helps just to take that edge off of them.
That gives the phrase flower power a whole new meaning.
It is.
Yeah.
We take it back from the 60s and reinvent it in this decade.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the 60s, as best I can remember. California was way ahead of its time in the 60s. You had everything going on. You had everything going on in San Francisco, Haight-Ashbury, the hippie movement, make love, not war.
Absolutely.
Man, I'll tell you, they were ahead of their time. And then great songs like the Beach Boys, Vibrations, Good Vibrations. Come on, let's get back to the 60s. I want to go back to the 60s. Where's Michael J. Fox when you need him? I want to borrow his DeLorean.
Although in the 60s I was living in Boston and it was freezing, so...
Well, I'll tell you what. In the time machine, I'll stop by Boston, pick you up, and we'll both zip over to LA.
Okay, that's the deal. I like that.
All righty.
Like that.
How many different flower elixirs are there?
Well, if you go for the traditional Bach remedies, there's about 27 of them. But now over the years, so many other people have created their own brands of flower essences. So now there's hundreds and hundreds of them.
My wife takes lavender and
calming.
And she sprays it on our pillows.
Yes, lavender's great for relaxation and sleep.
Yeah, it does, and it really works. What other kind of flowers have what effect? For example, I gave you the example of lavender because that's the only one I know.
Right. There's so many. They have ones called. I mean, some of the names aren't common.
Okay.
Like gorse and things like that. And so it just depends what issues people are having. Like if they're depressed, they can take something, like I said, called gorse.
Right.
They can take, there's rose, there's some, like every flower, there's lily, there's, you name it, they each have one that works on different sensitivities. And I think that people gravitate towards the one, sometimes when I'm mixing them, they just look at the name on the bottle and they're like, oh, they're drawn to a certain one just intuitively.
Would that be the same reaction people would get when they go into your store and they go to the crystal section and certain crystals attract them?
Same exact thing. So people walk in and sometimes they'll say, I'm looking for a crystal for, love or for abundance or prosperity or things like that. And, and I'll show them those particular crystals, but I always say to them, before I give these to you, just walk around the store and see if any of the crystals are calling to you, because those are the ones that you actually need right now.
My wife doesn't have that ability with crystals, but she does with gems, and you can put her in any shopping center in the world and she'll find every diamond store.
I love that.
That
just means she's, her vibration is very high, so she's going to the highest one, the diamond, right?
I think I got an award from American Express for having the highest American Express bill ever. I'm not sure about that.
They're like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they also send a box of Kleenex, and anyway. So,
hey, as long as she's happy, right? Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, and you know what? She's not only my wife; she's my best friend.
See, that's the beautiful thing. I love hearing that.
We've got 6 children and 12 grandchildren, with the 13th on the way.
Oh my gosh! How many years have you been together?
Let me see. We went to school with Betty and Barney, Fred and Wilma. Quite a few.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take it.
Our eldest is 48.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hard considering you're only 50.
I knew there was something wrong with that equation. Honey, I love you. Thank you very much for that 50-year-old pat on the back.
You just started young, that's all.
Do you know, I could go so many ways with that, but I'm not going to. But thank you for the compliment. Listen, we're getting into the Valentine Day scenario, and does your shop offer anything for those who are either in love or seeking love?
Absolutely. We have our love kit that we have, which is fabulous. We have a hand pour. It's a ritual. It's calling in love, and it's setting your intention for love. So we have our it's a beautiful hand-poured candle, and it is done, a whole ritual is done with it for, bringing in love, surrounding yourself with love, whatever you're looking for to do with love. And then we have our not flower essence, but our essential oil expert. She came in and she custom blended a variety of the oils for love as well. And then we have a rose quartz crystal, which is also known for the most popular healing, love and healing stone. So those are all in a little kit, and it comes with a ritual that you follow, so you know exactly what to do even if you're not looking for physical love, but you're trying to manifest something that you love to do in your life or in your career. So it's just something that you love and want to pull and bring into your life. So we have a whole little kit with that, and people love that because they're great gifts to give. They're fun to use, and it's not only the ritual itself, but there's a follow-up. So like you keep following up on the ritual just to make sure the impact and the power still stays going strong throughout the month. And it's really fun to do. And we just had an event at the store this weekend that everybody loved, and they came in with their kids, and they all made their own kits, and they had a blast with it.
See, I love the way you're talking, because you were saying that people come in and they also not only look for love in the physical manner, but they also look at things that they love to do. And I believe that if you cannot love yourself, you can't love anybody else either.
That's where it all starts.
Exactly.
It all starts with the self-love. And we always teach that, when people come in and they start to talk about, the women who come in and they're like, I want love. Where's the stone that I can get that, that will bring love into my life? And
it's called a cheap diamond.
I'm like, you get down a little deeper into the next layer just to see where they're at emotionally. And, because a lot of people say that, but then they may not actually be open to love.
That's right.
They may be closed off because of a past hurt and a past relationship, and, they're wondering why energetically they're not able to bring anyone in because they're still closed off.
And because many of the people, and my friends included, they carry the past luggage with them. They just don't leave it, or they can't grow past it. And
absolutely,
the old Johnny Lee song, "Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places." Listen, you and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Jana, please stand by. And Exo Nation, our guest this hour is Jana Hollingsworth, and she is the founder and the owner of the Crystal Elixir in Los Angeles, California. Website, crystalelixirstudio.com. And you know what? We're coming close to the day of Valentine's Day, and you've got so many people in your life that you really should consider. You don't have, if you're married, you have your wife, of course. You've got your children, especially the girls in your life, and you've got your parents. They're all part of Valentine's because they each love you and you love them. And after all, that's what it's all about, love. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Niagara, Ontario, Canada. I'm Rob McConnell. Don't go away. Welcome back, one and all. Jana Hollingsworth is my special guest, www.crystalelixirstudio.com. And just before going on air, this segment, Craig asked me if I was going to get him a Valentine's Day present. Let me tell you something, Craig. No. God.
You can give him a hug. Hugs are good presents.
He might take it the wrong way.
Yeah, I've heard that about him.
Mm-hmm. See, Craig, you're knowing far and wide. He looks like ZZ Top. He really does. I don't know what's longer, your hair or your beard.
Oh, my God.
Oh, all right, Craig, you do a good job, pal. I love you. Been working with you so long. Way too long.
And you both put up with each other, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, okay, if you say so. You're a psychic. I'll take it from you. Okay, so tell us more about the love aspect when it comes to the Crystal Elixir Studio.
Well, one of the things that's important that we didn't talk about earlier was that the love of our pets.
Oh, yes.
Because those of us who have pets, which I am a huge animal lover.
Me too.
We just love and adore our pets. So another reason when I opened the store, having pet products was a really big deal to me and doing that. So we actually have all sorts of gifts for the pets. We do have our flower essence elixirs, but above and beyond that, we have beautiful crystal dog collars for, all different sized dogs and cats.
Really?
And then we have the pet crystal water bowls.
Ooh.
So the crystals are, encased in glass
Right.
at the bottom of the bowl, and it gives love. The crystals in there are like love and calming and happiness crystals, so they're in there. So when the pet drinks the water, they get the energy and the vibration of that. And then we have beautiful little crystal charms to put on their collars, and we have dog tarot cards, and we have all sorts of fun gifts for the pets.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have a Bedlington Terrier, which looks like a little lamb.
Ah, we have a Shih Tzu. We have a
so
Lhasa Apso, and then we've got a Sheepoo.
Oh, wow.
Yep. You know,
Three's a lot.
Yeah, we got rid of the kids and got 3 dogs. I don't know about this. But you know what? I love them dearly.
I know.
They bring us so much joy.
Absolutely.
And I wish people could be more like dogs and cats and other animals, because they give one thing that humans still have a problem giving at times, and that's unconditional love.
Conditional love. It is.
Yeah.
It's just when you walk in the house at the end of a long day,
Yep.
and they just, that little ball of fur and that energy comes and greets you at the door, there's nothing like that.
Yep. Well, when I get up in the morning at 5 o'clock, little Lola gets up with me. She's the Shih Tzu. And she waits for me to put her up on the couch as I sit down and have my morning coffee and go through my schedule for the rest of the day. And then little Nikita, she's the one who is the Lhasa Apso, and she was from a puppy mill. We kind of rescued her. And she has to get up and get her attention. And then Maddie just stays in the bedroom with Mom and waits until Mom gets up.
Aww.
But you know what? I wouldn't trade them for the world.
No, I know. They're such beautiful little energies, and we're so blessed to have them, even though their lifespan is so much shorter than ours. And but it's just, they're a blessing.
One of the contract jobs I did for REL-MAR was as the director of marketing and communications for the SPCA. And I will tell you, I saw things that I thought I'd never see. I thought I had seen a lot being a police officer. But man, the enforcement branches and the enforcement people who look after the 4-legged friends that we have on this planet, hats off to them, because they see a lot.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I know.
So if
Thank God for them.
Yes, that is so true. Now, what types of readings, healings, experiences have you found to be the most gainful when trying to help people out?
I've had many readings. I've given many readings, and I've had many different kind of readings and energy healings. And, I've gotten something from each and every one of them, because everybody does things, intuitive or psychic is such a broad word, it covers so much. And it's not like everybody went to, got it in the same way, or,
True.
Came into their powers in the same way. And so everybody uses it differently. And so every time I've gone for any kind of reading or energy healing, I've always come away with something different than, the previous experience. And so for me, they've all been really helpful. And when I do readings, I do 2 different types. I do intuitive life coaching, which is sort of a blend of my background in spiritual psychology. And so it's sort of like a therapy session and a psychic reading all rolled into one. And then I do a spirit board reading, which when I got the board, the spirit actually came with the board. So there's only one particular spirit that I work with when I do the board, and he's really amazing. His name is Mora, M-O-R-A. And I found out when I first got the board that he was the king of a Polynesian island back in the 1800s. And when I Googled it, because when he first came through the board and was telling me about himself, I'm like, So I actually Googled it, and it came up in the search as in a ship log. So, back in the day, they always had the ship log where they went to and all that. And it literally said, we went to the island of, it's I think it was like Remora or Roduma or something like that. And we met with King Mora, M-O-R-A, and 3 other kings. And I said, okay. And it was dated back in the 1800s. It was 1831, I think. And, yeah, it was amazing. And the information he comes out with is usually very spot on in terms of like what's going on with the person's life in that time frame.
How can
so
somebody...
It's really,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, dear.
Very, always interesting what he comes up with.
How can people tell who a good psychic is and who a wannabe psychic is?
You know, I think anybody who is a good psychic, and this applies also when you're listening to your intuition and you can't tell if it's really your intuition or if it's something else, going on.
Mm-hmm.
Spirits always come through with like positive, uplifting messages. So if anybody's giving you a reading where it's kind of like scary messages, or they're trying to, telling you somebody put a spell on you, so you need to come back to them and pay them $10,000 to have the spell removed, or things like that of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
yeah.
that is not a legit kind of thing. So it's always, spirit always comes through with messages that are going to guide you, that are going to help you, that are going to improve your life in some way. And if there is something that they see coming up, they may say, hey, you may want to look out for this, coming up, but they're not going to say like, hey, don't get in the car on this date and, you're going to die in a freak accident. It's not, they don't come through with those kind of messages. So, and it's the same when we teach our psychic development classes,
mm-hmm.
it's the same thing when I say to people, they're like, well, how do I know it's my intuition? Like, how do I know that's, what's talking to me? And I always say, when you get that first initial gut instinct about something, that's what you go with. Because after that, your ego comes in, and your ego starts talking, and then that's when all the confusion comes in. And then you start doubting yourself, and then you start making decisions in that self-doubt, headspace, which is never a good space. So I always say to people, test it out in different ways. So like when you first meet somebody and you're shaking someone's hand, sometimes you may get a vibe from them and say, oh my God, I don't know what it was about that person, but I don't even know them, and there's something about them I don't trust. And it's just your initial gut reaction. Go with that, because that's always your intuition trying to guide you.
We used to do the show years ago at all the different psychic fairs in Toronto and throughout the Golden Horseshoe here in Niagara. And on this, around the room, around the walls, they would have all these psychics. And I would watch people go from psychic to psychic to psychic to psychic to psychic to psychic, and then they'd leave. And one day I asked one of the other psychics, why do they go to all the different psychics and then leave? He said, it's very simple. They keep on going until they hear what they want to hear, and then they leave.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And the thing is, when people come in,
mm-hmm.
and I always say this to new clients, if they email me to, make an appointment, and it's always like, come in with an open mind, because if you come in with an agenda of what you want to hear, then you're going to walk away, and we don't tell you what you want to hear. We're telling you what you need to hear. Then they're going to walk away, and they're going to say to their friends, oh, that reading was horrible. She didn't know what she was talking about.
Stand by. You and I have to take our final break. X-Zone Nation, our guest this hour is JANA Hollingsworth. www.crystalelixirstudio.com, and we'll be back as we wrap up this hour here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Niagara, Ontario, Canada. I'm Rob McConnell. Don't go away. Welcome back, everyone. JANA Hollingsworth is my guest this hour, www.crystalelixirstudio.com. First of all, JANA, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a great pleasure talking to you.
Fun.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Is there a difference between a spirit and a ghost?
Only in the way that they appear. You know, the ghost is the physical manifestation, I guess, of the spirit, if they want to show themselves, if you want to, look at it in those terms. But I have always just said, when I started doing this work after my dad appeared to me, I always said to my guides, I love talking to you. I don't need to see you. So I kind of put that out there, like I didn't want to see ghosts, kind of walking by and giving me messages, but I was very open to them talking to me.
What is your feeling about all these new shows that are on TV about the different mediums and about the different psychics?
What? I love them.
Okay.
I've seen many of them in person. So John Edward, the Long Island medium. I'm a huge fan of Tyler Henry.
Yeah.
I think they are all incredibly talented at what they do. And at least for those three, I think they are absolutely the real deal. And I've seen the other two many times in person, and every time they just really blow me away with the information they get.
I have to ask you about something. Can you tell us about the Spiritual Blessings Baby Shower? Now, that's a first. I've never heard of this before.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
They're so wonderful. We just did one a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking to my client, and she said, I don't want to do just the typical baby shower with, the baby games and, all the stuff they always do. And so we talked about having a spiritual baby shower, and she absolutely loved the idea. So we went to the home, and we did everything from having all the women there make their own essential oil blend for themselves. Cool. So we did that, and the blend was all about, love and prosperity and happiness and, all that. And then we did a beautiful sound bath for her. And the baby blessing was really beautiful. We had the girls who were doing the sound bath.
What's a sound bath?
A sound bath is using crystal bowls, singing bowls.
All right. Yeah.
And each bowl has, a different tune to it. And so they play, it's like listening to a concert, except it's all crystal bowls and all different notes. And so the crystal bowls come in the same notes as a piano does. And so it's like listening to like this little mini spiritual orchestra. So that was playing, and we all did a meditation. And then we made a beautiful, it was a baby blessing necklace. So we had a bowl of little crystals and beads, and they all had holes in them so that we could, put them into a necklace. And each person there, each guest would go around. They would pick a couple of crystals. They'd put it on the necklace, and then they would say a blessing to the mom of what they wanted for her and the baby. And it was just a really beautiful thing. And then at the end, we kind of put the whole necklace together for her, and she was wearing it during the day. And then they take it home, and they put the necklace somewhere in the baby's room because it has all the blessings and love from everybody who was there at the shower.
Now, that is really cool.
Yeah, so it was very cool. And, we're getting requests now to do that because everybody was like, oh, I want to do that. That sounds really cool. I want to do that.
In your opinion, having been involved in this for a great number of years, do you think that everyone has the ability to be psychic?
100%.
What?
I'm sure you've heard this many times over the year, but we are all born with it, and it's just a matter of how aware people are of it and then what they want to do with it. So we always teach that in the psychic development workshops, of different ways of tuning into it. And I actually wrote a book called Perfectly Fit Intuition a few years back because I was a fitness competitor for many years.
Yes.
And in the same way we build our physical muscles through exercise and dedication and discipline and healthy eating, you do the same building your psychic muscles as well. So there's different exercises you can do, and your lifestyle and diet and your discipline to practicing it all, it's sort of the same formula as I used when I was competing.
Now, the courses that you give, are they available online?
They will be. They will be. So we're working on that right now. But people can definitely, they can call the store, and we join our email list because we always have our events posted on our email list, and people can have us come to their homes and do the events there, so we can do our private psychic development workshop or, essential oil making or candle making right in your own home. So it's just whatever people prefer. Some people love to come to the store, or we can go to them.
Now, when it comes to you yourself, do you do psychic readings long distance? Do you do the readings over the phone, Skype, hour?
The majority of my clients are over the phone. A lot of them live out of state and some out of the country. I do the intuitive life coaching over the phone. The spirit board readings are really better done in person. There's just something about it that I just find that it's just more magical when it's done in person. And it's hard to kind of convey that essence over the phone. But yeah, a lot of readings I do over the phone.
Now, a lot of the products you and I have been talking about tonight, the flower essences and the dishes for the little four-legged furry.
The pet, yeah.
Are they available online?
Everything's available online.
Super.
And we ship it out to you, and you just tell us what you want, and we pack it up and send it out.
We've got about 3.5 minutes left before you and I have to say so long for tonight. What would you like to share with the listening audience of the X-Zone Nation tonight?
I think really just, being able to, I know some people get addicted to going to psychics. Like you said at those psychic fairs, they go to person after person after person. And I think it's really about, if people can tune in and really listen to those gut instincts that they get about things, it can help them so much in their own lives in terms of making good, positive decisions, and not making decisions out of a place of confusion and self-doubt. And just really, when you get that feeling when you meet somebody, people always, and I don't know if you've experienced this, but there are people that I'll be with if we go out in a group, and I'll say, God, whenever I'm with that person, I come home and I feel so great because their energy is just like so uplifting and so nice to be around. And then there's other people I come home from and I feel completely drained, like I have to go home and take a nap because and again, that's intuition. Everybody gives off a different type of energy. And so start to be aware of the people you surround yourself with and how you feel after you leave them, because again, that's your intuition saying like, hey, this person feels good to me, this one doesn't. And you'll really start to carry that over in your day-to-day life, even with people you don't know. And you'll just, everything that you do with your awareness, it just helps you more and more increase your intuitive powers, because we all have them.
In your opinion, is there a connection between the realm of psychic phenomena and a person's dreams?
Yeah, I do believe that there are, because I feel like, we all come here with certain talents and abilities. And when, there are some people, at a very young age, they know exactly what they want and exactly what they're going for. And I think, dreams, whether it's a dream state where you dream things and then manifest them, or that you have big dreams in life and you go after them, that's all connected to the spirituality and psychic. It's like those dreams are saying to you, hey, this is the direction you should be going in.
Let our listeners know how they can find out more about you, as well as how they can go online to order some of your great products. They
can find us online at the Crystal Elixir elixirstudio.com. They can find us on Instagram at Crystal Elixir LA and on Facebook at Crystal Elixir Studio.
It's that simple. And Jana, I want to thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. And to you and yours, nothing but the very best.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful.
You take care of yourself now.
All right, you too.
All right. And Exo Nation, if you'd like more information about Jana and the Crystal Elixir Studio, that's the name of the website, crystalelixirstudio.com. Now, I'll be back on the other side of this news break at the top of the hour, 6.5 minutes past, as we return talking about the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology from our broadcast center and studios right here in Niagara, Ontario, Canada. Now, if you'd like to find out about the programming we have available for you 24/7, 365 on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit www.xzbn.net. And for the X Zone TV channel, exclusively to Simul TV, visit simultv.com. And in the search engine, just type in X Zone. The X Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. We'll be back on the other side of this. Oh, brief commercial break with the news. Whatever you do, don't go away. We'll be right back.